but watching tragedy, watching history stuff, learning about things that really happen, that's so rich for me. And if I'm really stuck, I'll smoke a joint and watch the news. And that usually I'll come up with one or two ideas right there. So it is helpful to me. Marijuana increases the associative process. You free associate faster. Now LSD, the free association is so fast that it's very difficult to finish a sentence sometimes. So it's still wise to write down the things that are making you laugh. But you'll come up with 20 ideas, and maybe two are good. But then you'll have 2 ideas instead of the normal evening where you write 10 ideas.
But it's not for everyone.
No, it's not. It's not, and I make that clear too in my book. There were, there were people who jumped out of windows. It's true. I mean, but it's like if you want to be a race car driver and drive your car 200 miles an hour, you might be like Dale Earnhardt and smash your car into the wall and die doing it. And in a free society, I think you should be free to take chances if you want to. Now, some people can't hold their liquor. They get drunk and they can't stop drinking, and they become obnoxious to be around, and they become more stupid, and they endanger people around them. Those people end up having to quit drinking. A lot of great writers were heavy drinkers. Tennessee Williams was a heavy drinker. A lot of them were, but you can shorten your life or end it by being an idiot. And taking drugs and drinking heavily, maybe if you're going to be a blues guitar player, you should have at least one stage where you're a drunk for a while. But it's not as if you're going to write like Tennessee Williams if you take opioids and drink heavily. It may not be your way. And I think in colleges like this, I think there should be classes where people find out if they have a drinking problem, if they have that gene where they can't hold their liquor. It'd be good to find out sooner than later. And it may be that in states you should decide at the age of 16 if you want a license to drink or a license to drive, and then find out if it's that important for you to drink or is it that important for you to drive, because you really shouldn't drink and drive. I was lucky I never hurt anybody, and to this day I thank God that I never hurt somebody else, because people did get hurt and people did die. My friend John Belushi lost his life, and he was young. He had everything going for him, and that was a tragedy that I still can't comprehend. It was just, I'm still trying to fathom that level of grief. He lost his life, so don't lose your life. It's not worth it. But LSD helped me, but it doesn't help everybody. So it's not. But marijuana, it doesn't hurt to experiment a little bit. Marijuana, some marijuana is out there that is so strong now it is like LSD. So mix it in with your homegrown. But it's best to be responsible. So if you drink, drink responsibly, and if you read, read responsibly. And if you write, write responsibly. Because words, if you say the right words, it gets a big rise out of people. And words can do a lot of damage, either for fun or for evil. There's good and evil out there, and you'll find out by the time you get my age that it really is evil inside yourself. There's a great speech given by William Faulkner when he won the Nobel Prize in 1950. Just Google it when you go home, but it's all about the things that are substantial in writing. The only things that are worth going through the agony and the sweat are those old bones of the conflict of the human heart. The human heart in conflict with itself. That is what it is to be human, and that's what substantive creative writing is all about, those conflicts. And if you don't realize that conflict is inside of yourself, then you haven't tapped that source yet, because everybody has those conflicts. and everybody hurts the people that love them. And it's not a good idea, but it happens. It happens, and so I try to. I write about that. Now, I mentioned some of the women that I loved in my life who changed my life, and Lindsay, my inamorata, my significant other with whom I've lived now for 10 years, when she read that, she said, "You're talking about your sexual conquest." And I was like, "Oh, come on," you know. She didn't like that in my book, but I honestly wrote it because
I didn't like the way you treated them either.
Well, but that's the truth.
Yes.
And I tried to tell the truth.
Yes.
I really tried to tell the truth. Now, that's why people write novels. Change the names, and you can write anything you want. You can take license with it. But I tried to tell the truth. I tried to get the stories right, and it was very difficult and labor-intensive. And it's a memoir. If I were to ever write another book, it would be a novel. And good luck to you all. I hope you have a rich experience and all become creative powerhouses and very successful. Because when you write something, you want people to read it. You can write poetry, and if no one ever reads it, then maybe, I mean, there are some artists who have to live a life of suffering, and then 100 years later, their art comes out and it's wonderful. There's plenty of examples of Van Gogh and
Emily Dickinson.
Emily Dickinson. Okay, so that's art, and you're not always going to get the payoff, but I mean, William Faulkner. Oh, well, thank you very much. William Faulkner ended up in Hollywood trying to make money writing screenplays, and it was a bitter experience for him, but he had to pay the rent too. Right. So you have to balance all those things, and I wish you all the best of luck. Good hunting. Thank you. And you're all invited to come to the show tonight. You will see Theodoric of York in its entirety and some other very silly things. But no one else is going to see The Wilderness Comedian. You're the only one.